I don't know what the hell. I guess whatever. Okay. Yeah. So greetings, everyone. My name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. And like I said, if you were just watching the previous live for the reading of Pure Lust by Mary Daly, first of all, I'm on my Release Heart Center, which I'm probably going to have to do it more often now. I'm on my Release Heart Center IG page for those of you tuning in via IG, because for the second time in a row, I've done a complete live on my Daughter of the Fates IG, and they're not saving it. They're not allowing it to be saved. So I don't know what's up with that. So I'm broadcasting from my Release Heart Center page, and hopefully I can get that to greetings, Lejay. Hopefully I can get that to save. But anyway, so I am doing this live. We just finished our nightly reading from the book Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. If you are tuning in via IG and have not been watching that live, because I've been doing it on my Daughter of the Fates page, then you can always go to my YouTube channel, which is at Daughter of the Fates. Greeting, Mystically Soul. I love that so much. I'm actually creative dates. I'm actually like simulcasting, if you will, or streaming. I guess that's what y'all call it. I'm actually streaming. I'm doing it through IG because the stream platform doesn't allow it, but I'm actually streaming to my YouTube channel live. So I'm doing that, streaming through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. So, if you have not been watching the read for Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly, first, I would encourage you to get this book. Second, I would say that the book is just, it's like, so many of you rocked with me. Most of you rocked with me the entire time. Greeting, Frank. Most of you rocked with me through the very, very long period of time that it took me to read The Great Cosmic Mother, which I read on YouTube. It's there. It's available for you to go back to and listen to. It took about 6 months, I think, for us to get through The Great Cosmic Mother. I've been a lot more disciplined about reading Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly, which was referenced in The Great Cosmic Mother, which is how I found the book in the first place. The book was written in 1982 or 1983. And just like the way I talked about The Great Cosmic Mother and how this book is like a goddamn living organism, this book, Pure Lust, child, has me in my feelings every time I read it. Every time I crack open the spine, I am moved to the verge of tears. I am in my whole ass feelings. The book is something the hell else. And the reading tonight was off the chain. the reading tonight was off the chart. So I'm still in a place. Also, my demeanor may feel a little bit less animated than usual because I am tired. Okay. I don't usually say things like that out loud because I am grateful. My tiredness is because I've taken a second job, one that I did not foresee having to do ever again. But here I am in this place where I have to do out calls. I have to go to people's homes to do massage therapy. And in California, apparently, don't nobody want to get massages during the day. Everybody wants to get massages at night. So ever since I started the second job, on average, I'm home from 11 to 1. Usually I don't get home till about 11. Last night I didn't get home till about 1 o'clock in the morning from massages at night at people's houses. You understand? I haven't done out calls in 10 fucking years. But I really need the money. I really needed the money, and until we can really get a strategic and organized process established for the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, that it can start paying me, that it can start paying for itself, that it can find that it can it as a 501c3 can secure a space for us. And I think I found a space. We shall see. So I have a couple of meetings this week. And so I'm working 12-hour fucking days every goddamn day. So I came home after my 5 o'clock massage appointment. I was just exhausted. I was not in it. I was exhausted. And I was like, you know what? I really have to nurture the temple. I really have to nurture what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, I need the money to make sure I have a place to live come the new year. But I also need to nurture what is the most important, which is the temple. So I took the rest of the night off tonight and came home, but I'm tired. Okay. When I say very, very seriously, physically tired, I'm working 12-hour days, every day, literally every day. So, so you just gonna have to bear with my energy. I know I'm a little bit, y'all used to me being a little bit more animated and like upbeat, but I'm exhausted. So anyway, I'm still happy, just so you know. I'm not down. I'm not distressed at all. I am happy because even as I may complain about not wanting to do out call massages at nobody's house at 10 and 11 o'clock at night, the money is decent, and people are very nice and very generous, and it's allowing me to meet people. I made some pretty extraordinary connections, and like one of the clients I had yesterday, it turned out to be a very necessary and important connection that I needed. So I'm grateful for that. I'm just physically tired. Anyway, there are some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I know I said that's why I didn't do the live on Sunday night. I remember. Thank you for making any kind of video. I appreciate you, Queen. Love that you continue to nurture your vision. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, sis. Listen, I believe in us. I believe in what we're called to do. I believe in her. And so I will remain steadfast. I am in real time, and I say this all the time, I am in real time trying to be deliberate and disciplined in creating the world that I say we want to see made real. That world that I want to see us make real is a world where exhaustion, like I told y'all I went to a retreat on Saturday, right? And for healers. And one of the sisters, I talked about the daydream card that she pulled, another woman pulled, but there was another sister who pulled a rest card because it's from a deck called the Rest deck, right? And she pulled this card that said something to the effect of I don't even want to misquote. I wrote it down. Hold on. It said, where did I write it? Where did I write it? Huh. Interesting. Fascinating. Anyway, here it is. Okay. It said, it said something to the effect of, okay, it said my body is sacred. My body is sacred, child, and exhaustion does not honor the sacred. Exhaustion is not your legacy. This was the rest card that she pulled. Exhaustion does not honor the sacred. Okay? Exhaustion does not honor the sacred. Okay? Exhaustion does not honor the sacred, and my body is sacred. And so the reason I'm telling you this is because, like I said, I am trying very diligently to be exemplary, to move in real time. That's why tonight's reading was so important, to move in real time in the way and likeness of the world that we say we want to make real. In that world, artists are paid the value of their labor. That value being determined and set by them. That musicians are paid the value of their labor. That value set and determined by them. That healers of all kinds are paid the value of their labor. That labor set and determined by them. That the age of the poor righteous teacher, the poor starving artist, the poor fucking healer, these laborers that just do out of the goodness of their heart for the will of mankind while they suffer in silence, that shit is dead and done. So when I'm telling you that I'm always trying to be purposeful in the present, in my movement of the creation of the world that we want to see made real right now, my behavior, my tasks, the way that I orientate myself in the world. What does she call it in the book Pure Lust? The way that we presentiate, right? The way that we are in real time, that is exemplary, what? Of the world that we are weaving into creation. Huh? We can, what did she say in the reading tonight? That we divine, as seers, we divine the future that we are creating. We know the future because we're creating the future. What am I always saying? Holy fuck. What am I always saying? When I'm talking about when we say we do not pray, we conspire, that the conspiracy that we are creating in real time is a conspiracy of certainty. That the future that we're talking about, we're conspiring. What does conspiracy mean? For those of you who watch me any period of time, conspiracy means breathing together to ensure a certain result. That's what it means. Breathing together to ensure a certain result. What is the certain result that we are conspiring to create? A future made well, a future made whole, a humanity. Listen about the reading tonight. What did they say about Medabel, who had been dichotomized, made less than, invisibilized? Huh? That once she began to create with her muse, her whole posture changed. People began to see her. It said that when she had all the little cotton scraps scattered all over the place, she already saw perfectly it organized into this tapestry she would create. And not only this physical entity, this tapestry she would create, but this tapestry that in the creative process would transform her, would make her new, would create the new her. Let me tell you about this reading of Pure Lust tonight, y'all. God damn. Let me tell y'all. So when I talk about me being tired, because that's where it started. When I talk about me being tired, when I talk about me being exhausted, but being mindful the whole while of all the things that are coming together, me needing to take the second job to secure my safety, to secure my foundation, to secure my housing, right? To make sure that I enter into the future in a good place. But even as I am entering into these spaces, doing this work that I really was not wanting to do, but recognize the need to do because this is where my skill set lies, Spirit still being generous enough to always partner me with generous people, generous in the resources that they give me, generous in the connections that I've made in just a very short period of time. Greetings, Erica. Right? I have made several very significant connections just in the few weeks that I've been doing massage on this app, right? Still being mindful that as I have to do this pretty laborious work right now, that I am still mindful that I have to behave in a way, I have to conduct myself in a way that is exemplary of the future that we are creating in real time. I have to be able to appear, to look, and presentiate, as Mary Daly calls it, in a way that denotes that future already exists. Why does that future already exist? Because we are conspiring in real time to make it so. That's why it already exists. Remember the book that I read to you guys? Read part of it to you guys a couple months ago, African Goddess Rituals. And in one part, when she talked about, greetings T, when she talked about, she was working with this Baba in Africa, and she was confused. She seemed confused because she was like, he said, we gonna be learning how to read these tea leaves or some shit, right? We gonna learn how to plant this herb or take care of this herb or how to use this herb. And she looked confused. He was like, why are you confused? She said, I thought we were gonna learn how to read the future today. And he looked confused. He said, why are you confused? He said, we predict the future by creating it. We predict the future by creating it. When I read to you from pure lust tonight, and I was so visibly fucking moved, one, by the two names that have been in my consciousness since I woke up this morning. One, from a random, seemingly, I saw this boy's face crystal clear in my mind's eye this morning and have not thought about this person since I left high school. Why would I need to see his face and remember his name? So much so that I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get right on Facebook to see if I could find him. There must be something significant. There must be something important that I need from remembering this most random human being that I had no real relationship with in high school. Why did I see his face so strongly in my dream? Why did it so emotionally move me in my dream? For the name to be in this book that we just read tonight. I said, what the fuck? Then the second name in the one section that we read tonight is the name of the last man that I had sex with who offended me so that I said, fuck that. I am not giving my fucking sexual energy to men for a long time. Both these names in the reading tonight, y'all. I just had a dream about Billy this morning, about Mr. Culpepper this morning. When she talks in the book tonight about, I guess that's what the word is tonight. I guess this is what the lesson is tonight. This is what the word is tonight. We read this last section called Faye, faith, hopping hope, and biophilic bonding. And the whole section of this reading tonight is my name. The whole section is about my name. It is about my name. It is about the origin of my name. It is about the energy and the power of my name and what it means. Did y'all listen? My middle name is Faye. And I told you that my middle name is Faye because I hail from a line of fates. That's why I call myself the daughter of the fates, though my middle name is Faye. Remember me telling y'all that? Remember me telling you that my great-great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my oldest uncle, my dad's oldest brother, is Fate. I come from a line of fates. My middle name is Faye as a nod to the tradition of the firstborn male being named Fate, but I was the firstborn daughter. I was not the firstborn male, right? And my daddy didn't have no boys. And so I told y'all that my middle name, Faye, carries two meanings. The fates, the meaning of the fates or fate, destiny, and the Fae, magical beings, magical creatures. She spent a whole section talking about my name. Tonight. She spent a whole section talking about, what have I told y'all several times? That it's already happened many times in my life. It has happened to most of the people in my father's side of the family, the lineage where the fates are, that we have been called crazy or mad Touched. My grandmother was literally called touched her entire young life. She's, quote, diagnosed schizophrenic. What does she say here in 1982 in this book? She says, the faith of a woman who identifies with the fates may well cause her to be positively Faye. The word Faye, what does she say here? The word Faye, one definition of the word Faye is Faye, my middle name, Faye. Being in a wild or elated state of mind formerly believed to portend death, behaving in an excited and irresponsible manner beside oneself. It also means, what does she say here? It also means having to come in touch with herself. She must be declared Faye. Okay, so it says here, for such a woman is not responsible to the rulers of the rapist system, and her sense of responsibility to herself portends death to them and to their system. Having come into touch with herself, she must be declared Faye by the fathers in yet another sense. This is another meaning of the word Faye, out of one's mind, mad or touched. This is the whole line. I've told y'all the background of my father's side of the family. Many males and females on my father's side of the family diagnosed schizophrenic, Baker acted, hospitalized against their will for madness. Schizophrenic, seers. But I told you, my dad told me when we were little girls that we were blessed with the gift of sight. And if we weren't, quote, right with the Lord, that gift would be a curse. This curse is translated to madness in my family. I told y'all that. She said, but furiously faithful women are positively touching and touched, and are therefore mad as maenads. This is the reading tonight. I was so moved by the reading tonight. It says that Faye has other dimensions as well. It also means able to see fairies or to have intuitions about the future. Faye, my middle name. It means able to see fairies or intuitions about the future, possessing a sixth sense, clairvoyant. Faye feminist faith implies a natural clairvoyance of those who reject masterminded mediation of sense experience. This fayness of feminist faith is the source of hope of the characteristic of hags. Child, look, this reading tonight had me in a way because this whole week has been in a way. You understand? This whole week leading up to this last new moon of the year tonight, this 12/12 portal new moon in Sagittarius. And I just want to implore you, this has been a most radical week. This has been a most radical week. And I just want to implore you that, we have to be sharpening our skills. We have to be deliberately engaging our higher senses and our lower senses. There's so much that I want to talk to you about, and I am really fighting something else that resonated about this reading tonight. When she talked about Virginia Woolf needing, when Virginia Woolf recognized that women as creators need, quote, a room of their own. And then they reiterated that in the story about Maidabel and her weaving of this most spectacular quilt, right? That gave her power, that changed her behavior in the world and other people's relationship to her. She talked about women needing a room of their own, that she preceded it by talking about in how 1982 women were on average doing 26 hours a week of housework, and therefore it made it impossible for them to express genius. Do you see how the reading has been lining up to what I've been talking to you guys about to talking to you guys about for over a week now. It is not my imagination. It is not something that is coming from a place of like I don't even know the word I want to use. Because what happens when women start commanding time, commanding space, commanding support to facilitate what? Women having a room of their own, a space where peace exists in full support and foundation that allows them to be the creatrixes that they are supposed to be, right? And so when she talked about that, it really resonated because I've been talking to y'all about that all week. I've been saying that we cannot continue to just concede that men have a right to space, time, peace, quiet, foundation, so that they can grow into the genius that they are meant to be. That can't be it. That now is the time for women's genius to be supported. What did the dude say in the reading the night before last? What he said? Hold on, because that was deep. Hold on. What he said, the quote that she made. Oh, it's such a good quote. I'm gonna have to memorize this one, because I was like, yes. According to Stendhal, when he expressed an accurate perception of the Sado state's tidying of women, he wrote, all the geniuses who are born women are lost to the public good. All geniuses who are born women are lost to the public good. All geniuses who are born women are lost to the public good. All geniuses who are born women are lost to the public good. We have to end this period. We have to end this tendency, because what we have done is created space, peace, foundational support for the expression of genius of males in general and white males in particular for 400 or so years. And it has yielded nothing that has been of significant reprieve for humanity. It has yielded nothing. This genius unleashed by white men in particular has done nothing to resolve the problems of humanity. In fact, more often than not, this genius becomes weapons that are used to further subjugate, oppress, and subdue others. The so-called genius, the physics genius of Oppenheimer that gave the world the atom bomb, the genius of others, the genius of Hitler, because I am told that Hitler was a genius. What did it yield? I am told that Winston Churchill was a genius. What did it yield? So here we are. I am told that many monstrous men that we uphold as good guys. Remember, I told you about the article. I'm going to have to post this article. 10 men that we herald. The name of the article was something like 10 men we herald, or 10 men that we revere that we didn't know were bad guys. And on the list of these 10 bad guys that 10 men we herald as geniuses that were actually bad guys. What's his name? Sigmund Freud was on this list. What's his name? F. Scott Fitzgerald was on this list. Who else was on this list? Albert Einstein was on this list. Who else was on this list? So many men that died with people speaking their name in reverence all the time. Oh, Einstein. Oh, Fitzgerald. Oh, on the fuck on and on. All of these men who had been supported, their genius allowed to emerge. And what did it yield? What did it yield? The suppression of, the oppression of, the subjugation of some other, typically some other woman, some other persons. Typically, it would yield some weapon of mass destruction, Oppenheimer, that we now are seeing a movie and people that spent billions of dollars to go see a movie about Oppenheimer. You understand? Meanwhile, the people who are still victimized by his creation in fucking New Mexico and Arizona still are being refused reparations for the damage that the illegal testing of atomic weapons in the United States did to indigenous people, primarily in New Mexico and Arizona. But y'all can go out and spend billions of dollars watching that bullshit on the big screen. He was a diabolical, monstrous man, is what he was. But this was the genius that was supported. I was watching another little short documentary. I forget the dude's name, but he the name of the documentary, or the heading, the subtitle for the documentary was like, this guy who for all intents and purposes ended famine in the world, saved millions and millions of lives, but this same man was also responsible for the death of millions and millions and millions and millions of humans. You understand? And the way he was responsible for the death of millions and millions and millions of humans was he was a physicist. He was a genius. He was a physicist. I'm gonna see if I can find this documentary, because I sat there watching this shit in utter disbelief at how the male world, the patriarchal world, can somehow what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think. Somehow they can. What is the word? Oh, it's gonna kill me. Okay, but anyway, somehow it's like they can be okay with doing a certain amount of damage. You know, that whole notion about, well, you know, do whatever you got to do for the greater good. They can resolve in their mind that they can do a certain level of dirt to others, but all for the greater good. That is some patriarchal, megalomaniacal madness, is what it is. Right? That's some madness. All for the greater good. You know, well, we have to kill a few thousand, but we saved millions. Oh my God. Only males can what is the word? Child, I can't even think of the word. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. But this weird rectification in their mind, that's not the word I want to use. But anyway, this weird way that they can be okay with a little bit of fucked up shit, as long as that's you know what it is? It's some noble narcissistic shit is what it is. A noble narcissist concedes that. A noble narcissist concedes that. That's what it happens. That, you know, this little thing might have done this little bad shit over here, right? But all for the greater good. That's some noble narcissistic shit. Because you're a narcissist. Not only are you a narcissist, you're a murderer, you're a tyrant, you're a fucking colonial fucking megalomaniac. But you don't want the world to know you're a murderer, megalomaniac. So people will let you get off for some little bad stuff you do, all for the greater good. So this dude that I'm talking about, where they said, yeah, you know, he made it so that cognitive dissonance, yes, he made it so that famine was mass famine was like a thing of the past, but he was also the physicist who knew. They said he knew and was conscious of the deadly ramifications of putting lead in gas. So up until a certain period, gas was leaded. You go to the gas station now, it says unleaded. But he knew that the lead in the gas would kill people. And he still sold it. He still created it and sold the patent or some shit, right? And did not say to the people buying the leaded gas, this new process, this new way of creating gas or whatever. And so they went country by country by country talking about how many people directly died as a consequence of inhaling the fumes from leaded gas, country by country by country, until finally, globally, they started banning leaded gas. But he knew it. He had the documentation that, yep, this is going to kill some people. Killed millions and millions and millions of people. But, you know, he did ostensibly in famine. So, like, can he get a pass? That's what I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all think, yeah, when y'all think genocidal maniacs, the image that comes up in your head is instantly Hitler. Hitler was a genocidal maniac. But he wasn't the last one. He wasn't the only one. Even at the same time, y'all don't call Winston Churchill a genocidal maniac, because he was killing primarily black folks. That's why y'all don't call Winston Churchill y'all don't call King Leopold a genocidal fucking lunatical maniac. Y'all don't call, but that's what he was, with the impact that his regime had in Congo, that we still are seeing the impact of today. But y'all don't say that. Y'all don't call King Leopold a genocidal megalomaniac. Y'all would not call, you still champion and herald these motherfuckers as just good businessmen, but y'all won't call Elon Musk a genocidal maniac. Sure won't. Y'all won't call Jeff Bezos a genocidal maniac. Sure won't. Y'all won't call, what's that white boy name? The Microsoft, Steve Jobs. Y'all won't call him a genocidal maniac. Sure won't. Who else? Who else? The little Asian boy, the little Chinese boy that is responsible for the company Shein that I talked about to y'all a couple of weeks ago. Shein. Y'all won't call him a genocidal maniac. Zuckerberg. Y'all won't call him a goddamn genocidal maniac. Sure won't. You know the genocidal maniac's name, but because genocide is such an accepted thing now, it's acceptable to see people of color suffering. Bill Gates, goddamn right. It's acceptable to see people of color suffering. It's acceptable to see it, to hear Vandana Shiva talk about more. What did she say? 44 million Indian men have committed suicide since Monsanto brought their fucking illegal seed into India. 44 million farmers in India have committed suicide because of the impact of Monsanto on farming in India. But y'all won't call that genocide. Y'all will not call what is happening to black babies all over the continent of Africa, Madagascar, and the harvesting of red quartz for your fucking Zen meditation state with crystal rose quartz on the heart chakra and shit that are covered in the blood and bodies of babies. Y'all won't call that genocide. Y'all will not call what is happening to the babies in Congo genocide, or the babies in fucking Sierra Leone with the illegal blood diamond mining industry genocide, or in Liberia with the rubber plantations and chocolate plantations fueled by child slavery. Y'all won't call that genocide. Y'all have grown comfortable seeing people of color suffer. So the only people that have a right to claim genocide are European descended Ashkenazi Jews laying claims to somebody else's land. This is the only people that ever had genocide committed against them. Meanwhile, the Jewish impact in these very same industries that we talked about in Africa, right now, Jewish ties in South Africa, Jewish ties in Ghana, Jewish ties in Nigeria, Jewish ties in Sierra Leone, Jewish ties in the Congo, in Sudan, in Ethiopia. But y'all won't call that genocide. You won't call what is happening in the United States genocide. You will not call the fact that this industry, the one that I live in right here in Hollywood, is dominated by Jewish people, Jewish men. and that the images that are constantly, consistently, historically for 120 years being levied out into the world about the images of Black people and our deserving of oppression, because that's what they do. I just read today that Steven Spielberg, who y'all love so much because of his role in The Color Purple, in producing The Color Purple, but Steven Spielberg is producing a movie right now. What was the movie about? Oh, damn. What was they saying? He was funding and about to produce another movie. A Zionist movie. A Zionist movie. Oh, that's what it's about. He about to do a documentary on the terrible events of October 7th and the right for the Hebrew people, the Jewish nation, to have their own land at the expense of the indigenous population. And what happens is for you to condemn the Zionist state of Israel, for you to say that your condemnation is not of individual human beings who happen to be Jews, but to condemn what is happening in Palestine. That's why they're working overtime on this media, boo. Because to condemn what is happening in Palestine is to be forced to condemn what happened to the indigenous population of the Western Hemisphere, is to be forced to contend, face, and deal with, condemn what happened to African indigenous people, is to have to condemn what happened to New Zealander indigenous people, the Maori, is to have to condemn what happened to the Australian Aboriginal, I don't even call them Aboriginal, original people of Australia. To condemn what is happening in broad goddamn daylight in real time as a age-old tendency of European descended people is to have to show the fuck up for the fact that how we live right now is a direct response, is directly tied to the genocide of Western Hemispheric indigenous people, the genocidal attacks on African indigenous people, the genocidal attacks on Asian indigenous people, the genocidal attacks on Aboriginal and Maori indigenous people, the genocidal attacks on the people of Fiji and Hawaii and Puerto Rico. And that's why they can't afford for you to come to no decent conclusion about what the hell is happening in Palestine right now. Because to come to a decent conclusion about what is happening to Palestine is to recognize that it is synonymous with every genocidal attack that has happened on indigenous people around the world for the better part of 500 years. So everything becomes the issue but the issue. Everything becomes the issue but the issue. And we can't say the word Jewish without the fear that we might be called anti-Semitic. Nobody's goddamn anti-Semitic. Bitch, ain't nobody talking about Jewish individuals. We are talking about your funky ass fucking behavior towards indigenous people. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. It would be no different than if there was a group of Black people who are oppressed people. But because we oppressed, that somehow we get a pass to doing fucked up shit to other motherfuckers. I wouldn't go for that. I'd be like, yo, Black asses with that bullshit. And would have every right to say that. Because I am not condemning your Blackness. I'm condemning your Black ass for doing dumb shit to other people. There's a difference. But Jewish people get the incessant and forever, what? The pass? Forever? Well, we were oppressed. So whatever we do, we get a pass. No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is their Old Testament Christians, they Torah, they books tell them that the better part of their ancestral story, and it's a fictional story, by the way, the better part of their ancestral story told them that because they're the chosen people, they can do no wrong. When we commit genocide, it is ordained by God. When we commit genocide, it's because God told us to, because we're the chosen people. When we commit genocide, it is us carrying out the orders of the Abrahamic God, the God of our fathers, Abraham, Jacob, the fuck like. you see. But what if you come to realize, this is the hard question, because I've had to go through it. I know too many of us who have had to go through it, who have had to come to terms with the beliefs of our childhood, to face the fact that the beliefs imposed on us of our childhood were mythologies. Not only mythologies, monstrous, mythological, political assault weapons is what they were. Monstrous, mythological assault weapons is what they were. To come face to face with what you believed your entire childhood about who God is and what God looks like and how God functions in the world and in your life is a monstrous myth. That's some hard shit to sit with, I know, because I've had to do that several times in my life, to come face to face with my beliefs and the mythology attached to my beliefs. I know it's a hard thing for Jewish people to have to face, that they may be descended and that their whole worldview and their whole life is based on monstrous myth. This myth that justifies genocide, this myth that justifies the oppression of women, this myth that justifies mutilative acts against children, this myth that justifies the theft of resources, this myth that justifies the theft of land. That's some hard shit to sit with, but y'all all got to sit with y'all shit. Black, brown, yellow, red, and white. We all have to face our shit is what we have to do. This age demands it. This age demands that we no longer rely on monstrous myths that were created as political, social weapons of control by gods of war. That's what they were. That's what everything you believe has been to feed the gods of war. Every amount of blood you have shed, every person you have killed, every child you have sent off to war has been a sacrifice on the altar of the worship of the gods of war. Shit. And the keepers of the traditions and rituals of the gods of war are the great unholy triad: Roman Catholicism / Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Now, you can be mad about it. I'm telling you what it is. You can do with it what you want. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what she says. I'm telling you what the age demands. I'm telling you what it requires. It requires us to slay the demons imposed in our consciousness. It requires that the radical new future be one that is based on our oneness, not some simpleton ass oneness, the oneness that we all experience in relationship to the one, her, our mother. This is what binds us all. This is what connects us all. It's her. That's all. Not some aloof, distant, make-believe, mythological, bloodthirsty megalomaniac named Zeus or Jesus or fucking any of the names y'all want to give this dude. You understand? So I was thinking about, I was watching, so the next movie review I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow because I got an attitude. I saw this movie night before last. I told y'all about it, Shazam, minimally, and how it fucked me up. Because y'all know me, y'all know me, and y'all know how spirit be handling me. I come home, I'm tired. I say I'm going to watch some little shit that's just mind numbing and ain't really going to have me engaged. You feel me? Just some shit to blow off some steam. And she sent me in a whole ass wormhole. Watching Shazam? Have y'all even seen the previews for this dumbass movie? This shit looks silly as shit. You understand? So night before last, I'm watching Shazam, and the mother is in there, it woven into shit, kicking ass and taking names. Bitch, can you see? Do you see? Do you see what they're doing? Do you see what they're attempting to do in this movie? Do you see what messages they are feeding to young people? Because the movie is geared towards kids. The movie is geared towards young people, young youth, 11, 12 to 24 years old. They ain't gonna be seeing the shit that they are imprinting in these babies' consciousness with this fucking movie. That movie was off the chain. I've been talking about it every day since I saw it. So that's gonna be the next movie review that I do, because baby, that movie fucked me all the way up. But I remembered when I saw on the Roman Catholic Church's news, like their online newspaper 2 years ago, when I'm telling you, when I say the unholy Trinity, I mean it. When the Roman Catholic, when the Pope facilitated a meeting with the heads of these religious institutions, a rabbi, a imam, the fucking Dalai Lama, who else was the fuck up there? The Pope. It was, I think it was 7 men who represented the major spiritual institutions of the world, called them into a meeting. But guess where the meeting was? This was 2 years ago. Guess where the meeting was? The meeting was held atop Mount Sinai. Do you know where Mount Sinai is? Mount Sinai is in Egypt. Did you know that the word Mount Sinai means the mountain of the mother moon? Did you know that? The Mount Sinai means the mountain of the mother moon. That's what it means. And these figureheads of world religions met in secret atop Mount Sinai, supposedly to pray for 7 days for world peace. Y'all hear me? That was on the Roman Catholic Church's website. That ain't no shit I made up or theorized. No conspiracy theories. It was right there on the Roman Catholic Church's website, that the Pope called a meeting of the figureheads of all the goddamn religious institutions, the big ones, on the face of the planet to, quote, pay for world peace on top of the mountain of the mother moon. Sister say, Brooklyn natives say sausage fest. Here you got all these motherfucking men atop the mountain of the mother moon, supposedly praying for world peace. 2 weeks later, the Pope calls a meeting at the Vatican of all these big bishops and priests from around the world, and has them in an in-house session for a week. And when they came out, he said, this is a quote, that the primary mission of the Roman Catholic Church for the next 10 years, I quote, is the re-evangelizing of the entire planet. Well, what happened the first time they evangelized the planet? Same thing I was just talking to y'all about. The genocide of the Western Hemispheric indigenous people. The genocide and the enslavement of African indigenous people. The genocide of the Maori. The genocide of the indigenous people of Australia. The genocide of everybody on the known planet. The genocidal attacks on people of India. The genocidal attacks of people in Asia. That's what happened the last time the Roman Catholic Church said, let's go out here and evangelize the goddamn savages. They go on top of the mountain of the mother moon to supposedly pray for world peace, and then come out and he say, not even 2 weeks later, that the mission for us for the next 10 years is to re-evangelize the whole goddamn planet. But do you not think that the imam that was up there on the mountain with him, and the rabbi that was up there on the mountain with him, and the Dalai Lama that was up there on the mountain with him, do you not think these motherfuckers are co-conspirators? Because they are. Because they are. That's why I call them the unholy Trinity. Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism, and Islam. And the sites through which they set the re-evangelizing of the goddamn world is women of color in particular, most urgently. That's why you just had all your rights overturned in the United States as women under your Biden that y'all ran out and voted for, because Biden is a Catholic, because he just seated enough Catholics in the Supreme Court that for the first time in the history of the institution, the majority of the justices on the Supreme Court are Catholics. One's a Jesuit. That happened. 148 cabinet members are devout Catholics. Nancy Pelosi was a Catholic, is a Catholic. You feel me? That's what it means to re-evangelize the world. He ain't just talking about missionaries. He's talking about the dominion that they hold over the political space. Then you still convinced that there's some kind of illusion of the separation of church and state. The church runs the state. The church is the state. I don't even know how I got on that. But when I tell you we're going to have to pull jack moves this year, I watched this movie, Shazam. And in the movie, it is crystal clear what the Pope was saying. What the Pope was saying about re-evangelizing the world is clear in the movie Shazam. I said, look at this fucking shit right here. They aren't even, baby, they murder Hecate, the triple goddess, the face of the goddess in her youth, in her mother phase, in her maiden phase, her mother phase, and her crone phase. They murder Hecate. They murder the mother. They murder the mother. The only portion of the mother that they save, that is spared, is the portion of the mother that is deemed fuckable. The youth, the maiden, who is still fertile and is of use to the male world, to the male order. And how does she end up spared? Because she betrays the other two aspects of herself. She betrays the other two aspects of herself. The mother phase, which is also the personification of Oya. They say, oh, it's because you Hades' daughter. This is Oya. Because you Hades' daughter, you are hell-bent on revenge. But do you know how her revenge happened? How she facilitated her revenge for what the humans had done? Child, you remember the story of Jason and the Argonauts? The golden fleece and the golden apple. Y'all remember that? You Greek mythology buffs? They find the golden apple and realize that they can undo all the damage that human beings have done by planting the golden apple, right? And so the girl that plays the mother, which is Lucy Liu, she is the one. Child, Lucy Liu is Oya in this movie. She is Hades' daughter. They say, see, you can't even think straight because you just hell-bent on revenge. I know the humans done did fucked up shit. They done fucked up the realms and all this shit. They did so much dirt. But damn, why you want revenge? And so she gets the golden apple and she is like, look, we about to change up the whole game in this bitch. So she goes to this big famous baseball stadium in Philadelphia. And she says, this looks like a lovely place to plant a garden. Y'all ain't hearing me. She says, this looks like a perfect place to plant a garden. And she takes the golden apple of the gods and forces it into the ground. And instantly, this massive, massive, massive city-sized tree springs up out of the ground. And as its roots take up space in the city, buildings are collapsing and trees are springing up in its. This is her revenge, y'all, that they were condemning. Oh, yeah. This was her revenge that they were condemning. Oh, you're just hell-bent on revenge. She plants a new tree of life so she can facilitate what? She said, this looks like a lovely place to plant a new garden. So she can re-emerge. She can rebuild the Garden of Eden. That's what she implied by growing the tree of life. And from the tree of life, guess what happened? All the magical creatures of mythology sprung forth from the roots of this tree. Oh, yes, they did. But she the bad guy in the movie. She the bad guy because her tree was tearing down buildings. She was the bad guy. Her revenge looked like planting new life and seeding new life in a decrepit world. She was the bad guy. Guess what else she did? She called forth, what did they call the dragon? Drogon? or Logon, a female dragon made up of wood. She was a dragon, a fire-breathing dragon. She breathed blue fire, but she was made of wood. A primordial being made of wood. Okay, IG is pissing me off. IG is pissing me off. It's not letting me post any videos. Bastards. Anyway, I'm sorry, IG or IG listeners. IG is pissing me off. I don't know what is going on, but they're not letting me like keep any of the lives that I'm recording. So y'all are gonna have to follow me on my YouTube channel, which is at Daughter of the Fates, and catch it there. But anyway, what I was saying was her revenge for the wrongs of humans, her undoing of the damage done by humans, was to plant the tree of life, to call up the mother serpent, the dragon, Drogon, to wage war on humans for the crimes they had committed against the goddesses. Yeah, that happened. So she was murdered. The crone, who was played by the British white woman that's in all the cool movies now, this old white-haired British white woman, I can't remember her name. I like her. She's in a lot of dope shit. She is the crone phase of the goddess. She too must be murdered. She is murdered, you see. The only phase of the goddess spared was the maiden who sold out the mother and the crone to save herself, to side with the humans, Now, what you need to know about DC Comics and Marvel Comics is this theme is recurrent through all of these movies. The humans represent white people. It's most pronounced in the X-Men. The mutants are the others, and they don't even hide it. The majority of the mutants are people of color, Asians, and so on and so forth, right? The mutants represent the people of color. Even what's his name? The Marvel guy, Stan Lee, who is a Jew. Stan Lee said that X-Men was based on the split that was happening inside the Black movement. In his mind, the mutants were the Black people. And the difference between Xavier and what's his name, Magneto, was the civil rights movement was represented by Xavier's crew, right? And the Black Panther Party and the Black Power movement was represented by Magneto's crew. He didn't even hide that. He said it. The mutants were the Black people and the humans were the white people. That ain't no shit I made up. He said it out of his own mouth. And so this has been an ongoing theme among both DC and Marvel comics and movies, is that the humans always represent the white world. And the others always represent the world of color. The others, you see. So when the maiden was spared because she sided with the humans, her Asian self. This movie, I don't want to give it all away because I told y'all I'm going to do a movie review. I'm going to do an in-depth deep dive into this bullshit ass movie called Shazam, because they don't even have to hide from us what their intentions are anymore because we don't see it. We don't care to look. This is a kid's movie, sis. Brooklyn native, this is a kid's movie. This on Disney Channel, boo. This on Disney Channel. It's Shazam. The first one I saw was the second one called The Fury of the Gods. And then after I watched The Fury of the Gods, I was like, damn, this shit was crazy. Let me go ahead and watch the first one so I can see how it started. 1 and 2. But the one I'm talking about right now was the first one I watched, which was Fury of the Gods. It was the second one. Baby, they do not even have to hide. When I tell you a story about the Pope telling The whole clique, the whole global clique, that the plan for the Roman Catholic Church for the next 10 years is the re-evangelizing of the whole world. And you are trying to make a correlation between why I would talk about that in the context of this movie. In the movie, it is clear that this is the mission. It is clear in this movie that this is the intention. I got to do a review of this movie. Y'all are not going to believe. I'm gonna give something away though. There's a scene where Shazam sends a letter to the elder goddess, the crone, and says, "Look, we need to have a meeting. We can compromise. You feel me? Like we can compromise." And so they got to meet in a public place. They at a table, like where you have lunch, in a public place. And she said, "Okay, so what's this compromise you want to reach?" Because she already knew what her answer was. But she was like, "What is this compromise you want to reach? What did you called me here? What do you want?" And he said, "Give us our friend back, essentially, and we won't fuck you up." And she was like, "Boy, here you are, a child, pretending to be a man, pretending to be a hero." That's what she said. She said, "Here," because so if you know the story of Shazam, he's actually 14 years old. He's a little kid. But whenever he says Shazam and the lightning strikes him, he becomes a man who is a hero. Okay? She said, "Here you are, a child, pretending to be a man, pretending to be a hero with a power that is stolen." He's like, "What you talking about?" She was like, "The man, the wizard who gave you my power had no right to it in the first place." She said, "Think about it this way." And she tells him a story. She said, "Say you have some gold, say you have some money, and somebody robs you of your money. You understand? They done stole your shit." She said, "Now, say the robber drops your money somewhere in escape from stealing your money, and somebody else picks up your money, right? And goes on about their way with your money, right?" She said, "Is it any less stolen? Is it any less stolen? Is it any less yours because somebody else is in possession of it?" She said, "But instead of thinking about this like money, think about this in terms of our birthright, our power that you possess that is not yours. We are here for what is ours. This is the mother talking to him, this child, this man child." She said, "Baby, we here for what is ours, what is rightfully ours. You are in possession of a power that doesn't, you are in possession of a power that does not belong to you. And with it, you do not do what is supposed to be done with it." What did he do when he first got the power? This so-called pure of heart child who had the power of the goddesses bestowed on him by a Negro wizard. Stolen by a Negro wizard, bestowed on a white boy, 14 years old. I'm talking about Shazam, Connaissance, the movie Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Y'all ain't hearing what the fuck I'm telling you. The 14-year-old white boy, the Negro wizard say he looking for somebody pure of heart to bestow the power on. The Negro wizard say he is going to bestow the power of all the male gods onto one who is pure at heart. And it happens to be a 14-year-old white boy who do not know how to treat his friends, who mistreats the crippled boy who does nothing but be a friend to him. You understand? This the pure heart. This the pure heart right here, who gets all the wisdom of Solomon, the speed of Achilles, the power as demonstrated by the lightning bolt on his chest of Zeus, and so on. And so he names all the masculine powers bestowed on this 14-year-old degenerate white boy, even as he lives as a foster house in a house full of others. A little black girl who is the sweetest little sweetie pie, a little Asian boy who's overweight and feeling real self-conscious, another little Asian boy who whatever, a little white girl who wants to just go to medical school and do really wonderful things for human beings, and a little crippled white boy. But this dude is the pure of heart, you see. that gets all the power of the male gods bestowed on him. And once he gets this male power bestowed on him, he's like, I want my friends to have the power too. Boing, 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 boing. So he takes the staff of knowledge to make his friends also superhuman. The black girl, the two Asian kids, the white girl, and the little crippled white boy, to make them all superheroes too. And she said, here y'all are playing at heroes. But when he got the power, he wasn't doing no hero shit. When he got the power, he was sticking up people for money. You understand? Swindling people out of money, doing little tricks with the superpowers on the side of the road. You understand? This is the pure of heart. And so the daughters of these male gods, which is the triple-faced goddess, Hecate, the crone, the maiden, and the mother, personified in these three goddesses who are resurrected from a 6,000 years sleep to come get their shit, to come take their shit back. And when they come to get the shit, what was the white boy's answer? Well, y'all have been gone for a long time, so it's like, technically, isn't it mine? It's mine now. I mean, it was given to me by a Negro wizard. And guess what the Negro wizard was charged to do? Was to hold back the demons that were the facilitators of the 7 deadly sins. Now let me fuck y'all up real quick. That was all he was doing, was holding back the power, imprisoning the power of the 7 deadly sins. That's what he was doing. Remember in the very beginning of Pure Lust, when we started reading Pure Lust, and she renamed the 7 deadly sins? Remember that? Right in the preface. She renamed the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins being pride, avarice, anger, lust, gluttony, envy, and sloth. And she renamed them professions, possession, aggression, obsession, assimilation, elimination, and fragmentation. What did she say? She said that if we are to restore humanity and the mother to her rightful place, we must be courageous sinners. We must be courageous sinners. That the original sin, what? Is being born female. In a patriarchal society, the original sin is being born female. And since our birth is a sin as female, then we should have the courage. We must have the courage to sin on purpose. That's what she said. And so here, this Negro wizard, who is the embodiment and the possessor of, the keeper of all the power of all the male deities, to hold back the power of the 7 deadly sins. He is the mediator between the father and the resurrection of the mother, this Negro man, who placed himself in a position to be the mediator between the dominating power of the patriarchal majority, to ensure that the mother is never resurrected. That's his role in the movie. And so to ensure that the mother never regains access to her power, he gives it to a 14-year-old white foster child. And when they came back to get their shit, the mother, he was like, I mean, he gave it to me. It is mine now. She's like, no, the fuck it ain't. And let me tell you why. And what was she talking about when she said, just because somebody else picked up what was stolen from us doesn't make it theirs? What that sound like? Sound like what indigenous people would say, don't it? Sound like what African people would say, don't it? Sound like what the Maori may say, don't it? Sound like what the Aboriginal people of Australia would say, don't it? Sound like what the people of Fiji would say, don't it? Sound like what the people of Hawaii would say, don't it? Just because you came into possession of some shit that didn't belong to you, that was stolen, does not make it yours. It's still mine. It's still mine. The power is still mine. The land is still mine. The resources therein are still mine. The life is still mine. This movie was something the fuck else. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I told you I even started talking about the movie within the context of the Pope saying our whole mission for the age is to re-evangelize the world. And if we do not recognize that what is happening politically in the world is directly tied to this mission, we will forever be chasing our tails in circles. Recognize that everything happening on earth right now, this shit in Palestine, is tied to the proclamation coming from these men who went on top of the mother mountain, the mountain of the mother moon, to make a pact with one another, to be sure and to ensure that their place of power on earth is maintained. All of them. So there's going to be some hard questions that we have to ask ourselves. There are going to be some hard positions that we are going to have to come to, and we're going to have to challenge others to come to. Because these evangelists, they have not had any problem evangelizing us. Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. They haven't had any problem evangelizing us, imposing their beliefs on us, imposing their will on us for generation after generation after generation. We cannot be quiet. We cannot be timid about challenging others. My position is they are all evil. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, Buddhism and Hinduism. Anything under patriarchal rule is evil. What did Barbara Moore say in The Great Cosmic Mother? She said, evil is that which prevents the emergence of the one. Evil is that which prevents the emergence of the one. That's what she said. They are all evil. They are all intending to subdue women. They are all attempting to eradicate all otherness. They are intending to facilitate an entirely new age of oppression, subjugation. And baby, if we do what the mother is calling on us to do, that shit will be impossible for them to make happen. But we have to stage a contest. We have to stage an ideological contest. We have to stage a spiritual contest. We have to stage a political contest. We have to stage a social contest. We have to stage an economic contest. Or these motherfuckers will be forever running us in fucking circles. That's all I got for y'all tonight. I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. I'm not going to sleep. I got work to do. But I wanted to talk to y'all. I intended it to be a lot more upbeat or whatever. But it is the new moon. It is the new moon in Sagittarius. It is the new moon on the 12/12 portal. It is the last new moon of the year. And yeah, I would say we have to be ready for this year's coming. 2024 is promising to be a most radical year. Oya, as the planet Pluto, will be fixed in her transition into Aquarius come November 19th of 2024, just 2 weeks after the most controversial election probably to go down in history. You feel me? We have to stage a contest, you see. So we'll say more about that later. In the meantime, I'm going to make some jewelry tonight and come up with some ideas and do some meditation on the ways that we can change the world. And I guess I will see y'all tomorrow. I will try. Just keep a watch. Just make sure your notifications are turned on your YouTube channel, because I'm probably going to do the reading early because I need to work late tomorrow. I took tonight off, so now I definitely got a hump. I got a hump overtime, so I'm going to probably be working until about midnight, 1 o'clock tomorrow. So I'll probably do the reading of the book in the morning or something and set it to show live at 5. I don't know, whatever. But just be on the lookout for your notifications because I will post it when I decide what time of the day I'm going to do it. All right. It was good seeing y'all. I'm so glad y'all tuned in. I'm so glad y'all rocked with me. And even through the little complications with IG, I appreciate you rocking with me. Revisit the reading tonight from Pure Lust. It was really a good one. Shauna Michelle, Brooklyn native, Mr. Kali Soul. Who else was up on here? Feel me? Leger. Well, y'all was in here squad deep. T. Thanks for rocking with me. Say a prayer, plant a seed, put some new moon water out. Erica De Niro, thank you for tuning in, sis. Lotus Flower, thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, so yeah. And if you're interested, I told y'all about the forgiveness prayer and the gratitude prayer. If you're interested in receiving a copy of the forgiveness prayer or the gratitude prayer, just email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, and I will send that to you. Y'all have wonderfully prophetic dreams. May we weavers weave the future into existence in real time. Sing songs to the mother tonight, but be, for the rest of the evening. For some of y'all, it's already the next day, but we're still in the energy of the new moon until around 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So, just still be present for these next few days. Just be really present. Try not to let too many distractions take up valuable space. With that, I will tell you good night, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Peace. Oh my god. Oh, oh shoot.